This is Trapper Dan. I think we're on episode 6 of 90-day trap prep on a budget. I know today we were going to talk about odorizing the traps that we'd already painted. We're not. It's just a time issue, which is a lot of what this project's about. You know, utilizing your time the best you can and just keep the flow moving. So we have our baking soda. Gonna add it to our bucket. Give it a good stir. Now we had some traps in here that were a little bit rustier, so as we open it up today, let's just say it's coming off. I just prefer to take that out of the equation. Oh, and then we're going to take it out of this one also. Everything's looking good in there though. We see bare metal already. And we're going to take this out, put it in our baking soda, swish it around. Everything's looking nice and clean. We're going to neutralize it. They're looking really good. And we're going to continue the process. We have our traps over here that we had painted in the last episode. I decided to go all black because I'm going to try a few things with some water this year. So I went with a flat black and decided to do the whole thing. The traps are ready to go. We're going to add them to a pile, and then as this batch moves on, we're going to get these painted also tomorrow morning and keep the process moving. We're only spending about 6 to 15 minutes a day, and that's it. It just allows me to come home from work, get it done, and just keep moving. We'll actually be done, like I said, hopefully by the end of next week with this entire process. Have them begin their odorizing process, which we will cover tomorrow in episode 7. I had asked on Trapper's Life if anybody had any questions, and we addressed them in this episode. The question that was asked by Chuck, and also mentioned by, oh gosh, and I apologize if I dice this, was it CNL Wildlife Services on the YouTube page? And they both had the same comment. Why do I spray paint instead of using speed dip or using a paint that's thinned out? And they think it'd be quicker and easier. And what's my reason for using spray paint? Well, it comes down to a lot of things, guys. The main one is preference. I just prefer to do it this way. I can come home, do short batches, put it up, let it dry out, and I just keep moving. Like I said, trying to spend between 6 to 15 minutes a day, sometimes 20 maybe at the tops. I'm not doing full batches at once. I could, I just don't. It's just preference. And that's a lot of what trapping is. You know, you have a lot of old timers that'll tell you this is how it's done. You've got the new age guys that saying, oh, this is the best way. There is no right way, guys. It's you and your preferences on what you prefer. You know, and that comes down to everything from trap prep to being out there on the trap line. When you're on the trap line, you're going to do things the way you want to do it because you know it works for you. This works for me. This process here is highly effective with the vinegar and baking soda. And even how I do my odorizing. It's just how I do it. Doesn't mean it's the best way. Doesn't mean it's the most perfect way. It just means it's my way. And you can do whatever you want. So after you get done doing the vinegar and baking soda, you want to dye your traps? By all means, dye your traps. You know, if you want to use any other methods, go for it. You know, black walnut hulls. Go for it. Speed dip. Do it. Whatever works for you. The main thing is get this metal treated. That way we prevent the rust. That's all we're trying to do here. With me, it's spray paint. Plus, if I feel kind of lazy, I can send the kids out with a couple cans of spray paint. Let them go at it. They love that stuff. You know, get the kids involved the best way you can, and when you're using boiling water and things like that. You don't necessarily want kids on their own, but a couple cans of spray paint with kids at the right age, believe me, the kids will be doing this for too much longer. Well, again, everything's dandy with Trapper Dan. I hope I addressed your question. If you have any further questions, comment down below in the video, whether on the YouTube channel called Trapper Dan or on Trapper's Life, or just ask a question. We'll get them answered for you anytime. Well, we're going to continue to get our traps out of these buckets and into the baking soda, dry them out, get them ready for painting tomorrow morning, and tomorrow we're going to get a bunch of traps ready to be odorized. And after that, it's a sit back and wait game. Not much to do. It's real passive. We